So, good evening, folks. My microphone is working. Those who are joining on the replay, who are maybe listening on iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify, huge shout out to you as well. You won't have any of the microphone issues that I just had as we were starting this broadcast. Massive shout out to those who are watching on Facebook. Already been through the names. It's Corinne, not Corrine. All right, Corinne. Amber's here as well. First time listening to a live. Nice one, Amber. Thanks. Peter Revel Walsh is in the house. Angie's joined us. Stu Grimes is here. Lucy, Dawn, Sam, Matt Hall. Who else have we got? Loads of people are joining. Hello, and thanks for those who are joining for the first time. Going to be broadcasting until about 10 o'clock tonight. Valerie's here as well. All right, Valerie, hope you are well. Super interesting topic to talk about tonight. And this is something, if you've been following me on Twitter, you might have seen something going on Twitter today that was just bloody weird, right? But I'm not going to go into that. Certainly, well, I'll go into it a little bit, but I certainly don't. I'm not going to mention any names. I don't want you to go and, get involved with this. It's just pointless. I'm not about negativity. I'm all about making positivity louder. And what was going on Twitter today was just, just wasn't really like my style, not on my street. Sophia's here. Stig Wayne is in the house, and Gemma's here as well. Hello. So yeah, what I talk about tonight is something that I've been talking about, you know what, probably in a roundabout way on nearly every broadcast we've probably ever done out of the last. We've done about 301, 302 broadcasts over the last few years, every Monday night. So if you are listening for the first time, come and join us every Monday night, 9 p.m. we do this UK time. And that is gratitude, right? Being grateful, and not just being grateful like in times where your life's good. Because it's really bloody easy to be grateful when everything's going well for you, okay? And people think that, happy people can be grateful, and happiness comes first before gratitude and before you can be grateful. Very often, it's the other way around. Grateful people are happy, okay? And if you can't be grateful with what you have now, in or out of your acting career, or just in your life, so there might be some people in here who aren't even actors. Heather, good evening. Carly, good evening. John, good evening as well. I promise you, if you can't be happy with what you've got and grateful for what you have now, you will never be happy and grateful for what you have in the future. I swear to God, you will think these extrinsic external things in your life, whether they're acting jobs, accolades, auditions, money, houses, cars, girlfriends, boyfriends, wealth, in whatever guise it comes into your life, if you think that is going to make you happy when you get that, but you can't be happy with what you have now or grateful, I promise you, you will not be able to be grateful or happy with those things when you acquire them in the future. And I hope you get everything that you dream of. Genuinely, you all deserve it, but you can't pin your happiness on that stuff. So I was sat here last night. It was Sunday night. And I've been planning 2 podcasts that I'm doing for actsonthis.tv this week, and they're great podcasts. I'm recording a podcast tomorrow morning with a bloody lovely casting director, love her to bits, called Emma Stafford. She's based in Media City. Don't know if any of you guys know her or have auditioned for it. If you have, let me know in the comments here. She's one of very few casting directors that cast commercials and drama, just some great drama, and some top national and international commercials. So she's one of a few casting directors who do that. She's casting actually tomorrow, but she squeezed me in the morning to record a podcast with her. And she's just about, tell your agents, she's just about to start sending briefs out for the BBC kids show, the 4 o'clock club. There's not just kids in it though, there's loads of adult parts in it. She's just going to start casting for that tomorrow. So briefs will be going out to Spotlight, and all your agents will get those, I'm sure. But I'm recording a podcast with her tomorrow, and then on Friday I'm going down to London to meet, again, an incredible guy, an actor, businessman, and a real force for good in this industry called Jimmy Akambola. You might know him. He played a character called Malik in Holby City in 2014, 2016. He did over 100 episodes of that. But he also formed something called Triforce. He co-founded Triforce Creative Network with Fraser Ayres, and they're responsible for things like Monologue Slam, Writer Slam. I mean, it's just become a huge again, another force for good in the industry, huge business. Loads of people on here right now. You've performed at Monologue Slam. I've seen you performing at Monologue Slam. It's a fantastic thing, and they're all about access, to acting for anybody, regardless of, anything, whether it's your, ethnicity, disability, anything to do with diversity. It doesn't matter how much money you have or anything like this. It's all about, look, we've just got to get people who want to act into acting. So I'm going down on Friday to interview Jimmy. He's working with Idris Elba at the moment on something called In the Long Run. He was just in that ITV drama Cheat, with Catherine Kelly. That was awesome. He played, I think it was D.I. Who did he play? Hammond? I can't remember the name. Maybe got that completely wrong. Awesome guy, though. So I'm going out to London on Friday to interview him for Acts on This. So you premium members on actsonthis.tv are going to have 2 brand new podcasts to listen to in the next sort of like 10 days or so. And I was sat here last night, to cut a long story short, and I was planning the social media strategy around that because I create these little pieces of social media. In fact, let me play you one now. For those who haven't listened to Danny Miller's interview that I did with him last week, here's a 60-second clip around depression and anxiety in the acting industry. This is something that Danny struggled with. You'll know him as Aaron Dingle out of Emmerdale. But I create little bits of content like this. You've probably not seen this one, so let me just play it for you. 60 seconds.
It was me not dealing with it, and what I do now is if I get anxious, I tell people. And I suddenly go, I feel a bit anxious, and people go, it's all right, what do you feel anxious about? And the more you're open, the more you're honest, people go, yeah, what are you anxious about? You're fine, it's okay. And you go, oh yeah, okay, sound, yeah, I can feel my legs on the floor, I can feel my body, I'm all right, I'm here, I feel real, great, let's crack on. But instead I was going, oh God, I'm going to panic, don't tell anyone, don't tell anyone, a minute, worse, sweat. Right, stand by for a take, and action, I can't, I'm sorry, what's up, I'm sweating, I'm really sorry, I can't. Whereas I dealt with the anxiety and depression, and because I wasn't blocking that out anymore, and I was telling people, it's okay, I'm a bit hot and sweaty because I'm anxious, my hands are clammy because I'm anxious, I'm sorry, it's just the way that my mind deals with it, it's the way my body deals with it, and it's fine. People go, all right, no worries, take your time. And then your brain suddenly goes, I'm okay.
So that's a 60-second clip of the social media content that I produce, to get the message out there for you guys. If you've not heard that podcast, by the way, seriously, it's one of the most honest, open, and vulnerable podcasts I've ever recorded with an actor on actsonthis.tv. Danny just he's just like, look, I'm just going to open up completely. Absolute legend. Love the guy to bits. And I was sat here last night going, right, okay, you know what? I've got to plan the social media strategy around these next 2 podcasts. What am I going to produce? What do I want to ask these guests? What sort of information do I want to get out of them? How am I going to inspire you guys via the questions that I ask these people? It just dawned on me. I thought, you know what? When I put stuff out on social media, I looked at all my previous posts, and they're all very positive, and they're a force for good, and I'm trying to get this content in front of you guys. But I was like, you know what? All I'm doing a lot of the time, and I felt pretty bad about this, and I hope it's all right with you lot, but I was like, I'm just asking you to go and watch stuff and listen to stuff and share stuff for me. And I thought, I don't think I'm really putting any content out there that's just literally saying, just thanks so much for being in my life. And look at you all now. You're all tuning in to this on a Monday night when you could be watching Netflix, you could be with your partners, you could be out having a good time or whatever. Hopefully this is kind of a good time for you. But I was like, you know what? I just need to tell people how grateful, genuinely, I am, and how how much this community means to me. Acts on This was something that I just dreamt up in my mum's spare bedroom in 2011. Was never really meant to be anything, and it's changed the direction of my life entirely. It's something that I just do literally as a job 100% of the time. This is a huge part of my life. It helps my acting career. It just helps fill me up when I'm not acting. I meet incredible people. I get so much. Do you know what? In a way, it's really selfish doing what I do because, and this sounds a bit cliche and a bit weird, but helping other people get what they want out of their lives is pretty selfish in a way because you get so much back from it. I don't do this altruistically. I'm not like just this Mother Teresa who's like, oh, I'm just going to do all this because I get nothing out of it. I get so much out of receiving emails from you lot and tweets from you lot and all this stuff saying, you know what, I just listened to this with Danny, and him being so vulnerable has really helped me acknowledge the problems that I've got right now with anxiety or whatever. And just all this stuff that I'm producing is helping people. And it's the most satisfying for me. So I thought I'm just going to record before I go to bed. It was 10:30 last night. Very quick video. All right, Karen, good evening. Hiya, Sasha. Hope you're well. Katie Burgess in the house as well. Katie, not seen you for a while. Hope you are good. So I thought I'm going to create a little 2-minute video just to say, look, don't take any of you for granted. And I really appreciate you. And for those who haven't seen that video, I want to play it you now because I really mean this, and this isn't just some sort of front. I hope you realise I'm genuine. I really do appreciate you being here. It's only 2 minutes. Just have a look at this, and then we'll get on to what I want to talk about properly tonight because it's based on this video. Hey everybody, listen, I just wanted to record a really quick video before I go to bed actually. It's nearly 10:30 on a Sunday night as I'm recording this, but I think the message is really, really important. I didn't want to start a new week without putting it out there. I've got a big week coming up on actsonthis.tv, and I'm recording some great podcasts. I was thinking about how I'm going to put them out on social media this week and next week. And then I thought, and I was really, really kind of shocked and a little bit ashamed by this. I thought every post I put out on social media is generally asking you guys to watch something, to listen to something, to go and check something out, to share something for me, etc., etc. And my intent with that is always pure because I'm hoping that the content I'm producing is really impacting your lives positively. But I thought, I don't think anyway, I have never put a post out just to say thank you. Like, from the bottom of my heart. Like, and this is what this is, right? I just want to say to everybody who is following me, anyone who is, a part of actonthis.tv, whether you're in the Facebook group, you follow me on Twitter, you follow us on Instagram, you follow my personal accounts, wherever you're watching this, obviously you're a part of whatever I'm doing. And I just wanted to say, like, it means the absolute world to me. I don't take any of you for granted. I couldn't do any of this without you. Act on This was like a passion project of mine 8 years ago in 2011. I had no clue it was going to grow into what it's become. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of actors in the community today, and it blows my mind that you guys show up every single day and you interact with my content, you allow me into your life, you send me emails, of encouragement and support and telling me that you're watching, you're listening, and this stuff really is affecting you. And you don't know what that does for me. Like, honestly, it's incredible. It fills me up. It's the most satisfying feeling I get out of anything that I do when I make an impact on someone or one of my guests does. So I just want to say thank you. That's all this is. Really quick message, just say thank you. It means the world to me. Love you all so much. If maybe you've been inspired by this video, send someone a text now that you haven't said thank you to, that you should have said thank you to. I don't think we do it enough, and I wanted to do it. So there we go. Have an amazing week this week. If I can help you, reach out. Email me, ross@actonthis.tv. Get me on social media. Go and say thank you to someone. I'm off to bed, but thank you. So, just a little message from me, and I really mean that, just to echo those sentiments again. Thank you so much for supporting me and helping me do this, and I really appreciate you being here. So I put that out last night before I went to bed, and literally thought nothing of it. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to put this out. Maybe 10 people will see it, and but I just feel better for putting it out there. And I woke up to a tweet this morning from an actress who will remain nameless. Certainly not about dragging any of it back up, and very well-known actress, nearly 200,000 followers, and she'd quote tweeted this video of mine with "Are you for real? ? Is this a joke? ? And I just thought, it's really weird that. First of all, I was like, are you genuinely asking? But then I thought, when you watch that video, I mean, if it was a joke, it'd be a rubbish joke. It's not very funny at all. Why would it be like a spoof or something weird? I would be the worst comedian on the planet. I mean, it's just pointless. And then initially, and then you start going, right, really defensive and think, right, I've got to kind of hit back or whatever. And I almost got drawn in. It's a real lesson for me again, because I always say to you, listen, your opinion of yourself has got to matter more to you than everyone else's opinion of you combined. Almost wanted to get drawn into sort of reaching out and going, what are you doing? Why have you chosen to take this video that this one guy has made for just, in the grand scheme of things, 5,000 people who follow him on Twitter, and you've not replied to it with a normal reply on Twitter, which only me and her would really see, with a genuine question. You have quote tweeted it, so all of your almost 200,000 followers look at this video, and then you've written a comment above it that's really belittling, unless I've completely misinterpreted it. But I did ask a few people, am I looking into this and seeing something that isn't there? Or is this just weird? And then a load of people in the industry, and I'm very grateful to them again, some really influential people actually as well in the industry, sort of came to our rescue. And a lot of you guys on here, felt obviously a bit offended and kind of jumped in for me. I don't want people to go and do that. We're not about that. We're better than that. But it made me think, you know what, God, we need to have a discussion on showing gratitude in society, because if we're living in a society where someone can put out a video that I think seemed surely I meant it was heartfelt. When you put a video out like that and then somebody pretty much just trolls it online, I'm like, right, well, you know what, we need to kind of discuss if this can be seen even potentially as something that isn't real. We're obviously not putting our gratitude out there for people enough. And that's what I want to talk about tonight, because practicing gratitude, I swear to God, we've mentioned it a lot of times, but it will change your life. And there's a real reason why, all right, Alma, hope you're well. There's a real reason why I practice gratitude, and I do it every single day. That video was something a little bit special. I thought, you know what, I need to put this out there more. But on my own, every night before I go to bed, I write down 3 things that I'm grateful for the from the day. So even on shit days, you'll always be able to find 3 things. Some people do more than that, 5, 10. I do 3. I set a little note on my alarm on my phone, and it tells me at 11 o'clock, it's time to write in your journal. I use this thing called Day One Journal on my iPhone, and I write down 3 things I'm grateful for, and they can be, and I make sure one of them is like the smallest thing. Can literally be, I love coffee. It will probably always be the coffee that I had with somebody today, or the coffee that I had at such and such a place. Something, just a phone call, a text I received from someone, an email, a reply, someone favorited something of mine on social media. I don't know, something that's very little but just means quite a lot. And I write 3 things down. And then what happens is when you have a shit day, and we all have shit days, none of us are invincible, right? Sometimes you're just like, oh God, this is just not a good day for me. You can look at your journal on your phone, or some people want to write it out like manually, and you can just scroll through days and days and days and days and days, literally like 90 things a month that you can be grateful for in your life. And generally there's a lot, some stuff overlaps, but there's a lot of different things there, and you go, God, yeah, I forgot about that. And suddenly you have this abundance. And we know there's been so many studies done on this in positive psychology, scientific studies. We know actively practicing gratitude literally, will improve your state of being, will improve your immunity. It just, it just makes everything like just so much better. You cannot be angry and grateful at the same time. You cannot be pissed off and grateful at the same time. Those 2 emotions, a negative emotion, cannot congruently exist whilst you are being grateful. You can't go, oh, fucking hell, I'm so grateful for being alive. You can't be really pissed off and grateful at the same time. So it's one of the fastest ways to raise your state of being on days where you're not feeling good. Say you've woken up and you're feeling bad. Yesterday might not have gone well, and you've got an audition to go to today. The fastest way to raise your state of being and to bring it up, one is to, physically get up and move, and the other one is to practice gratitude. It's literally the antidote of all poison in your body. So I want to play you a video now, because I think both being grateful and receiving gratitude, they're 2 different things, but they're both incredible. They're both amazing. All right, Fanny Compton in the house. Been a while. She's here. Alex Hewitt's here as well. Both receiving gratitude and giving gratitude are both magical things. And when you give without expectation of receiving anything back, magical things in your life happen. I watched a TED Talk a while ago that really opened up my mind around gratitude as well. It's by a guy, I've got some notes here, by a guy called Ryan Duffy, Dr. Ryan Duffy. And he talks about why it's so important sometimes to give gratitude to people who you might not, in a way, you might not think, not deserve it, but like, we want to give gratitude to people who have done things for us a lot of the time. And sometimes the people who haven't, but we have learnt through, and they've not directly done things for us, but we've learnt lessons from watching them or being with them, or they've allowed us into their lives, deserve gratitude from us, and we don't always give it. And I just think, like, I'm going to play this video. I think it's going to really get you to think about something, and I'm going to set you all a little challenge around gratitude tonight. Rihanna's here, says, just joined tonight. What's occurred? I've been offline last few days. Whatever it is, you are massively supported and respected. I was going, thank you. Appreciate that. Alma's here, says it raises your vibration, which means you can receive better energy back from the universe. Totally with you on that, Alma. Oh, cripes, I've practiced gratitude more than ever this year. I find it actually really hard, but I already see how it affects me so positively. And you've just got a job, Fanny. I saw you got a TV commercial. Congratulations on that. Honestly, like, I just can't tell you. I know it sounds airy-fairy and a bit out there and a bit like woo-woo and, all this sort of, hippie shit. But I swear to God, if you actively practice gratitude, your life will change. This video is 15 minutes long. It's a really, really interesting story, and I know you're going to love it. I'm going to play it you now, and then I'm going to jump back on. We're going to have a little discussion. I'm going to play you one more video, and then I'm going to set you this challenge. We're going to set you this challenge before I play you the last video. I can still see your comments whilst you are you're watching this. Obviously, I can't talk to you, but yeah, please write your comments in the chat on Facebook, and I'll jump in there as well. If I click this, there should hopefully be this video. I'll see you in 15.
This picture you see behind me here is of my mom and little sister Bridget when she graduated college 5 years ago. Now, this was a pretty big achievement because her path to get here was not easy. You see, Bridget was born deaf, and when she was 9 years old, got a cochlear implant. And if you don't know someone who has one of these, They're a device that helps you hear a lot better, but are far, far from perfect. And so, like anyone with a disability, getting through school was a real struggle. It was the kind of struggle that you can't do alone, and she wasn't alone. There with her every step of the way was my mom. In fact, for the 24 years leading up to this moment, my mom was far and away Bridget's main advocate and source of support, really orienting her whole life around helping Bridget succeed. Now, you might look at this picture and think it looks a little bit staged, and that's because it is staged. It actually represents a running joke in my family, that my mom helped Bridget so much get to this place that they really both graduated that day. I look at this picture a lot, and I still can't quite tell who has a tighter grip on that diploma. A few hours after this was taken, my family was gathered in a hotel room, getting ready to go out to dinner, and then something really surprising happened. My mom stood up and asked for everyone's attention in this very formal way, and pulled out this letter and started reading it. It was a gratitude letter, and in it she proceeded to thank Bridget for all the ways Bridget had made her life better. Now, I remember sitting there at the time thinking that this was a bit odd, that really by any objective standard, it was Bridget who had received all the help from my mom over the years, not the reverse. But something inside my mom knew that this was an amazing opportunity to publicly appreciate Bridget's impact. At the end of the letter, there was these awkward moments of silence. I don't think any of us really knew what to do. And then it was like a scene from a movie where we were hugging and laughing and crying. In this brief moment, it was kind of like we were one of those normal functioning families. What happened in that hotel room was a deep and heartfelt expression of gratitude. And this is something that I have been teaching thousands of undergraduates about for the last 8 years. You see, in my courses, we focus on concrete activities that anyone can engage in if they want to have a happier, more fulfilling life. And of all those activities, it's really gratitude that can have the biggest impact. Now, when I'm talking about gratitude, I'm talking about it as a behavior, that it's something you do. And you do it because someone has been intentionally kind to you, and that kindness has value in your eyes. So why is it so impactful? Well, one of the main reasons has to do with the lasting effects of giving gratitude. For example, a number of studies have had people write and deliver gratitude letters to people in their lives who have actively helped them, and then tracked their levels of happiness and depression over time to see how they've changed. The results of these studies are all very similar, that even 1 month after delivering a letter to someone, people feel more happy and less depressed. This is for 2 main reasons. One is that when you sit down to write a letter to someone, it forces your mind to focus on what's positive in your life. And the other is that when you deliver a letter to someone, it acts as a real social connector. So the more grateful we are to people, the more they like us, and then they treat us better, and then we feel happier. Other research has focused on kind of the flip side of this coin, the effects of receiving gratitude. So in one innovative paper, researchers did 4 different studies, and in each study they had participants complete some type of helping task, like fundraising or editing a cover letter. After the tasks were done, about half the participants received a simple 2 to 3 sentence thank you note for the work, and the other half received nothing. And the results of these studies are again all very similar. That this just small expression of gratitude helped people in that group feel on average 16% higher levels of social self-worth. This is because when we receive gratitude from people in our lives, it makes us feel important and valuable, and when we feel that way, we get a happiness boost. So gratitude is awesome, right? Whether you are giving it or receiving it. And when it comes to giving gratitude, probably the most impactful way to do it is through one of these aforementioned gratitude letters. What you would do here is think of someone in your life that has helped you a great deal, but you've never properly thanked. You would sit down and then list out all the ways they've made your life better, with the goal here of being as specific as possible. So for example, writing something like, "Thanks for being a great dad," is not going to have nearly the impact as writing something like, "Dad, the way you tirelessly work to support our family gave me the resources necessary to follow my career dreams, and also taught me what it means to have a strong work ethic." One of those is kind of and one of those will start bringing tears to your eyes, right? After you finish the letter, you would meet with this person face to face and read it aloud, so you could experience the rich personal connection that often comes with voicing gratitude. Okay, so perfect world here. We are all writing a bunch of letters to people who have helped us. We're receiving a bunch of letters to people we have helped. And voila, we're all going to be much, much happier, right? Well, not exactly. You might have noticed that every time I've talked about gratitude, I've talked about helping others as being a fundamental component. And this is obvious, right? You thank people who help you. These go hand in hand. But this is a major problem, especially when it comes to receiving gratitude. So we know receiving gratitude feels awesome, but we also know that in order to be a helpful person, we need to be in a happy, positive, optimistic place ourselves. Probably an easier way to think about this is to flip it around. So try to imagine a time in your life where you've been really down or depressed. Let me give you a personal example here. The picture I'm going to show you is when I was 14 years old. It's okay, you can laugh. It was a dark time. What this picture symbolizes is what I was feeling at the time, which is down, depressed, lonely, struggling, just sad, right? Just sad. But what this picture doesn't show you is the impact of me being in this place on others around me. Specifically, the amount of help I was providing others was 0. I'm pretty sure I was spending most of my time alone in my room writing really bad, dark poems. I have this recurring fear that my mom will find these one day and show them to the world. It's just one of my nightmares. So when we are in low places like this, our energy as a whole is low. And the energy we do have is used to keep ourselves afloat. Our ability to help others is diminished. And as a consequence, we don't have a lot of people writing us these happy-producing, flowing gratitude letters. But what if we decided to change the way we think about gratitude? So instead of only thinking about people in our lives who are actively helping us, what if we decided to give gratitude to the many people in our lives who are having positive impacts on us, even if they're not planning to? What if we decided to give gratitude to the very people in our lives who need it the most, those who are at their lowest points? Now, they're probably not the most helpful to us right now, but they are the exact people that need us telling them, you are important. You are making a difference. You matter. That night, my mom thanked Bridget for a lot of things, and one in particular stood out to me, and so I want to read you this part of the letter right now. This is what my mom said to Bridget. Bridget, because you're in my life, I have a strong sense of empathy for others. Seeing the world through other people's eyes, being able to walk in their shoes, is a trait that is always difficult to achieve. For the past 24 years, I have hoped and prayed for others to see and hear the world through your eyes and ears. I know with certainty that my desire for others to have empathy for you has been instrumental in creating my own empathy for others. What a difference you have made in my life. What a positive effect you have had. And what a joy it has been hearing you describe your empathy for friends when they have struggled, suffered, or failed. Thank you for giving me the gift of being empathic to others. I have to be honest, I've read this letter a lot preparing for this talk, and every time I do, it's hard because I really get choked up about it. You know, it's just imagining someone telling you that, right? So my mom thanked Bridget that night for helping her learn to develop this skill of empathy. And it's ironic, right, that it was this very sense of empathy that pushed my mom to write the letter in the first place. Having a true and deep understanding of Bridget's struggle and knowing that this was a perfect opportunity to express appreciation of Bridget, not just for what she's contributed, but also what she had been through to get to this place. Look, I think we should be writing letters all the time to people in our lives who are actively helping us. And I can promise you that if you do this, you will be happier. But I want to challenge you to not just stop there. Because in my mind, there is no better way of showcasing our empathy for others than to tell those in our lives who are at their lowest points, often those who are really not helpful right now, the exact ways they have made our lives better. And so this goes back to my challenge. I challenge you to take some time this week and think about someone in your life who's really struggling. Your mom, your brother, your roommate, your friend, your coworker, your partner, your daughter. Take some time and write them a gratitude letter. And then go and meet with them and read it aloud. I promise you that if you do this, you will witness the amazing, the awesome power of gratitude. The power to, yes, change your life, but more importantly, the power to change the life of someone who needs it the most. Thank you.
Boom. How amazing is that? Isn't it a really, really different take on practicing gratitude? We really want to always thank those people who are being super useful in our lives, but people can only be useful when they're in a really good place. So those people almost don't need that happiness boost. Ryan says in that video, studies have found that people will have their happiness boosted by 16%. That's a lot. By receiving gratitude. So when you send a tweet to somebody to say thanks for doing this, or you send an email, I'm so grateful for the emails that I receive from people. Anyone on here who sent me an email to say thanks for something, like, again, from the bottom of my heart, mean it, brightens my day. Sometimes, you know what, I'll be having a really shit day. I'll be completely overwhelmed. I might have just had, I don't know, someone write me a particularly not nice email for whatever reason, because it happens, people will literally, they'll get on my email list somehow. I'll send them an email going, hey guys, like tonight, I'm going live on Facebook, come over, join us, it's completely free, hopefully it'll brighten up your day. And they send me an email back going, stop sending me this shit. And I'm like, you got on my email list, you dick. Why are you like... I don't say that, obviously. That's what my ego wants to say, but I just very politely take them off the email list. But I'll be having a day like that where something, isn't going well. And I get an email from someone going, hey, just what I say, wow, this just blew my mind. And I go, bing, this is the reason why I do it. But generally speaking, I'm always in a good place. So although I get that 16% boost, I'm generally pretty happy anyway. Think really hard of who in your life isn't happy right now. And that's why I didn't want any of you guys really ganging up on that person I spoke about before, who's clearly not in a very nice place. If that person's in a place where they can take an innocent video of mine, someone they've never met and someone they have never, crossed paths with, and belittle them in front of nearly 200,000 people. Again, unless I completely misread it. That was just my interpretation of it initially when I looked at it. But I'm like, they're not in a good place. If anything, they're the people who need reaching out to with the gratitude letter to go, listen, whatever you're going through right now, whatever pain you're in, I really hope it gets better for you. But who in your life isn't being particularly useful to you, but could really do with that 16% boost if you just send them a message saying, listen, just want to let you know how amazing you really are, or what I've learned from you over the years. I've been really conscious of being grateful, much more, grateful with my mum recently, and I've always been grateful, but you know what it's like with family, we sometimes kind of forget those things. And my mum's had a really bad time of it recently. We've got this dodgy eye condition in my family where my mum had basically just bit of light perception left in her, what eye would it be, in her right eye or left eye? Now I got mixed up. Whatever a good eye was, and I mean good eye as in literally she can just tell if a light's on or off. And she almost lost that last week. She had an operation on her eye, and she's just got a few complications and stuff, and was in and out of the hospital. She literally doesn't want very much in her life, just to know. She rang me in a panic, going, "I've just opened the fridge and I can't see if the light's on or not." And she sometimes, I think, feels like a burden on people, and we have to help her a little bit more. But I learned so much from her. I don't want to get emotional. So I have been really conscious about sort of, telling her that more. I really don't want to get emotional. But yeah, sometimes people just need that boost. So who have you got in your life, who you could tell that to, whether it's a text, an email, a letter, literally you write it, or a phone call or something like that. Marit, good evening on the call. And yeah, just have a think. Heather said, I think you should get her on the podcast. What, you mean not my mom, you mean the person who was on Twitter? It'd be interesting, but I don't know. I just have this thing, Heather, in my life about only quality people. I just, I don't know. I mean, maybe, never say never. Sam says it's something that we also easily have the power to do as well. We just have to take action to do it. No brainer. And you know what? You will get that boost as well. You will feel better. And this is how it relates to your acting career. In terms of if you are practicing this stuff generally on a daily or a week, well, not necessarily daily because you don't have time to do it, but at least a weekly or a bi-weekly basis, or even just sending like a 2-line text to someone randomly. Why don't you do that one day this week where you just wake up and you're just like, I've not spoken to you in 6 months, I just wanted to reach out and just say this to you. You're going to feel better. And if you've got an audition or you've got a self-tape to do that day, you're going to walk in such an altered state that it might just give you that 16% boost. That's that 16%. That's the difference between you getting that job or not getting it, because you walk in and you charge that room up and you respond and you speak to those directors and those casting directors in a completely different manner than when you walk in disempowered, not feeling very good about yourself. I just think it's a really vital component. Like I said before, I think gratitude is like the antidote to all poison. So that's why I put that video out last night. Get your mum on. She sounds amazing, says Tolu. She is. You know what? My mum would make a fascinating podcast. In terms of tenacity, what I've seen of that woman is she's in a much worse state than me in terms of her eye predicament, because she's not only got this degenerative eye condition that we've all got, that I've got, my brother's got, my mum's got, my niece has got, my nephew's got, and then my granddad had. He was one of like 6 kids. He was the only poor sod who got it, and then everyone since has had it passed on. But yeah, she's had a lot of other complications. She had an operation on her eyes in her 30s when she was around my age. And back in the day when you had cataracts, old people get cataracts. Well, when you've got this condition, you get cataracts in your 20s. So I've had mine taken out now. The cataracts is where the lens of your eye goes cloudy. It's like looking through like a bathroom frosted glass. And and they did an operation back in the day, we're talking 30 years ago, that was nowhere near what it is today. And it scratched all the insides of my mum's corneas, which is the clear skin on the front of your eye. So she's had to have those replaced multiple times, which has led to glaucoma and loads of other stuff. And literally, you know, seeing this woman battle with all this and just be so positive is, you know, just been such a lesson in my life. It's been absolutely amazing. And yet at times I know she's felt like a real burden, like, you know, oh, you have to take me to the hospital, you have to do this for me, you have to do that for me. I'm like, God, you do so much more for me than I do for you, you know. So she is amazing. I don't, you know, maybe I'll get her on a podcast for a bit of a laugh. She is mental as well, though. She's literally off her head. She's very funny. Wherever my mum goes, calamity ensues. Trust me. But she's very entertaining to have about. Thank you, everyone. Everyone's leaving really lovely comments about my mum. Appreciate that. But yeah, I just think it's important ultimately to just show gratitude. You know, forget the acting industry. You just, you know, and all that sort of stuff. It's just important to show gratitude to other people and also to yourself. And just to remind yourself of all the things you're grateful for. You know, if you're watching this right now, Tony Rossi, good evening, good afternoon for you in Chicago. You know, if you're watching this now, you've got a smartphone, you've got the internet, or you've got a laptop on the internet. You know, ultimately, you're probably in the top 3% of wealth in this entire world because you're able to watch this right now. You've always got things to be grateful for if you look for them. If you're going to focus on the extrinsic stuff you haven't got yet, you're going to feel a lack of worth, a lack of meaning to your life. You're not going to feel significant. And if you're comparing yourself to everybody on social media and all this bullshit that we do, if we're not conscious, you're going to feel like, you know, you're going to feel completely, what's the opposite of abundant? Just like scarce. You know, you feel like scarcity's everywhere. And that's what leads to people taking their own lives, man. It's just happened again, hasn't it, this week with that poor lad out of Love Island. He just took his life this week. A friend of a friend, my business partner Sean, his friend took his life about 2 weeks ago. A guy called Craig was very, like, you should see this guy. He's a twin, and you should see him and his twin out on the town. Like, I've seen pictures of them, and they just look the absolute epitome of joy and good fun, big massive smiles, big white perfect teeth. You know, and they're just like, you look at me, you go, God, those lads are living the life of Riley, and one of them just hung himself. I'm just like, you know, and this is because, you know, we've just got this epidemic of, I don't believe it's broken brains. I don't believe people suddenly just woke up and, you know, millions of people all born 20 to 30 years ago were all born with a deficiency in serotonin. It's not. It's society that's doing this to people. We're just human beings with unmet needs. We're not broken. People's brains aren't broken. We don't need flooding with antidepressants. People need to practice things in their life and bring things into their life that are going to make them feel whole and feel better. And I just really believe that gratitude is one of those things. I hope it's got you thinking. I'm going to play you a little video now just to end on a positive and end on a real high because it's a really, really cool video. Ollie Reynolds in the house. Ollie, hope you're well, mate. I see you doing a lot of online business. Hope all is good. Tolu says she is a queen, so inspirational. Plus, she made you who you are, which is the biggest testament. She did, Tolu. Definitely. My dad. I owe everything to my parents. Honestly, I swear to God. Who I am, literally owe it all to my mum and dad. Like, I just can't take credit for any of it in terms of the things that they've taught me, you know, of how to be and also how not to be as well. You know, there's certain things in their lives I'm like, God, you know, I just can't be like that. But yeah, honestly, it's just, I just was very, very lucky with who I was born to, you know. Valerie says, just seeing the person who tweeted you has replied. Oh, what? Someone reply? Honestly, I'm not buying into it. I'm not going to reply. And I don't want any of you to reply. Please, for the record, there's no point. You know, people wanna. I don't know. I honestly just think it was a bit weird. Like, I wasn't upset by it or offended. I just think it was odd that it was my video. It was. I you know, I don't know how anybody sane could look at it and go, "Is this a joke? Are you for real?" Of course it is. I don't understand. It wasn't funny or done in. It wasn't like, you know, tongue in cheek or done like slapstick or anything, was it? It was just bizarre. And I could tell by people's comments that they also didn't think that either, because lots of people sort of joined that conversation going, "What do you mean?" But don't fuel the fire. It's just absolutely pointless. Like, honestly, I have no time for it. We'll just let them crack on, because you do have to be. That's the thing. If anybody ever, you know, does anything like that in your life, right? Just again, gratitude is key. I just deploy gratitude that I do not have the capacity to be that. I don't have the capacity to just choose a post at random on Twitter of someone I don't know who's clearly trying to put a positive message out and then question it. even if it's a legitimate question, like, what is this even, what you're doing? I haven't got time because I'm focusing on myself, and I'm focusing on, on making positivity louder. So I just deploy gratitude that I am not them. So again, gratitude comes into the equation there. Ollie says, yes, crushing it. Started my acting course now. Very happy with my start. Hope you're kicking butt, dude. Awesome, Ollie. Let me know if I can help you, mate. Good luck with all that. Alex says, well, I want to give gratitude to you, Ross. Thank you for everything you do for us in the community. You're constantly motivate us and provide us with so much for free. Alex, it's my pleasure, man. And I will continue to always do that. And that's it, Although Acts on This is growing as a business, we can just have more positive impact. Those who are premium members and you pay your £10 a month to get access to all these podcasts, A, I hope you're getting massive value from it because I think it's a bargain. But B, a lot of that money goes to charity. And, and also as the community grows and we get if I ended up with a real surplus, I've said this in the past, I'd start making short films and I'd start giving jobs to those people who are premium members in the community who are contributing to, their fees and to that surplus that we would have. Not at that point yet. Definitely need about another 500 members. But it's one up, all up. I just think it's the right thing to do. And that's just a legitimate business that everybody benefits from. And like I say, I do this selfishly because I get so much back from you guys being here. Honest to God, I do. You just being here is enough. I don't need anything else from you. So yeah. That's what I would do. But thank you, Alex, and thank you, Alma. Love your latest episode of Watch Ross, says Tony. Yeah, if you've not seen the latest episode of Watch Ross, that's the behind the scenes vlogs of the podcast. Again, they're free on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com/Watch Ross, you'll see the latest episode with Danny Miller. Again, he talks about anxiety and depression, really opens up. We have an exclusive chat at the end of that vlog that's not in the podcast. So if you want some extra value, check that out. Gemma says that would be awesome. Yeah, honestly, that's what I would do, Gemma. I would seriously start funding stuff. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of members in the community, so it would have to go through slowly. I can't just suddenly go, right, I'm going to give 300. I think in terms of people who are premium members on the site, I think it's about 200 or so. The site obviously costs money to run. We give a lot of money to charity, and it certainly costs money to produce the features and stuff. But if we did get to a place where, maybe we had 500 members in the community, then we could definitely start producing some original content, which, that'd just be amazing. She says, you've helped me and my kids. Oh, that's amazing, Stu. My kids so far really appreciate it, although you need to learn about Star Wars. I know Chris Stone, the director, was trying to teach me about Star Wars in the coffee shop over the road the other day. I haven't seen it. But you know what? It blew my mind, actually. I thought the story's really, really good, but sci-fi is just not my kind of thing. If I could help you get those 500 members, I'd love to help, dude. No charge. Ollie, man, I'm up for any strategies you've got. I am going to be launching the affiliate scheme very soon. I know I've talked about this for months and months and months and months and months, and it looks like I've not done anything on it. I have been working really hard on this behind the scenes, and it is practically, I think it's ready. Maybe there's just a bit of fear there about maybe I've not checked something. But the affiliate scheme basically is any premium member who introduces another member will get 25% of their membership fee. So you'll get £2.50 a month on a recurring basis every single month as long as they're a member. Or if they buy a yearly membership up front for £90, you will get £22.50 of that. So effectively, if you introduce 4 people to the community for free, you get Acts on This for free. So that's why it's going to be called Acts on This for free, the number 4. That's how that will work. But there's no limit on it. Doesn't mean you have to just introduce 4. If you run an acting community yourself, or you run an acting class, or you go to a workshop, and you can genuinely, don't spam people. It's not about being spammy and try to cheat the system and cancelling your membership and signing up through someone else to get a discount. That's just not cricket. Don't, I will obviously, I can't have that. But if you can legitimately introduce people to Acts on This, and you will be doing them a big favour, I want to reward you for that. And there's no limit on that. You could bring 100 people to the table and you'd be getting £250 a month in your pocket for doing nothing else after that, just bringing them to the table once. So that will launch soon. That's one way that we can grow the community, and I can reward you for doing that as well. A couple more comments and then I'll play this last video. I'm definitely going to let a few people close to me know that I'm grateful for, and I'm grateful for them in my life. Nice one, Angie. Do it and just watch you change their life. Honestly, it will just mean the world to them. Carly said, I'd like to say thank you. You've helped me so much. Carly, thank you. See you at loads of events. And it's always a pleasure. So thank you for being in the community. Keep doing what you're doing. Ross's community needs you. Bless you, Dawn. It really means a lot. So I want to finish on this video. This is going to end on a nice high. It starts with a little segment of Denzel Washington's commencement speech, and I thought we all aspire to have a career as successful as Denzel. He's a bit of a legend, isn't he? Done a lot of good and super positive. And he talks about he wouldn't be where he is now without being grateful. So if it's good enough for Denzel, it's good enough for me. John says, thank you. The video you show was great. TED Talk. Have a great week, Ross. Got one more video for you, John. Don't go anywhere yet. And Andrew says, I appreciate how sexy you are. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate that. Oh, and yeah, Caroline sent me, Caroline said, don't forget about Oprah 21 days. So Caroline, post it in the Facebook group, Caroline. That'd be really useful. Sent me a DM before on Twitter about Oprah and Deepak Chopra doing a 21-day like free meditation course, I think, which sounds interesting. Post details of it for us, Caroline. Grateful for a lot of Acts on This members, says Tony. You all supported me and I'm grateful for it, especially Bobby Calloway and Gary Thomas. Thank you, Tony. I'm going to let the person who gave me the confidence to return to acting know how grateful I am, says Alma. Angie loves Denzel. And Peter says, I've always been inspired each time I watch one of your podcasts and you train. Thanks, Peter. That means the world, mate. Right, I can't see any more comments on Facebook, so I'm going to get to a page where I can end the broadcast once I've played this video out. But again, thank you for being here. If you want to talk further or you've got anything that you need any help with, as always, ross@actsonthis.tv. Sometimes takes me a little while to get back to people, just because of the volume of stuff that I've got to get through, but I will always reply personally. That's something that I always ensure. Your emails come to me, nobody else. I've said this before. Sometimes people write, hi, team. I'm like, mate, there's no team. It's literally just me knocking around. Right, listen to particularly the beginning of this, right? Go out, show gratitude to people. Like I said before, don't get involved with all that weird stuff that was going on Twitter. Let's just forget that now. I'm not engaging with it. I think it's just really, it's really made me focus on something positive. Show gratitude, give gratitude, receive gratitude. Remember that 16% happiness boost you can give somebody by just telling them how grateful you are. Even if they're not being super helpful right now, they're the people who need it most. So choose your person, wisely. Do that this week, and let's just make positivity louder. That's ultimately what this is all about. Listen to this video. Few minutes, I think it's only about 4 minutes, and I'll catch up with you next Monday, guys, 9 p.m. All right? Love you all. Thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you. I'm very grateful. Bye for now.
Say thank you for grace. Thank you for mercy. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for wisdom. Thank you for parents. Thank you for love. Thank you for kindness. Thank you for humility. Thank you for peace. Thank you for prosperity. Say thank you in advance for what's already yours. It's how I live my life. That's why I am, one of the reasons why I am today. Say thank you in advance for what is already yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this day. Thank you for every moment that led to this day. Thank you for the hard times. They made me appreciate the good times. Thank you for the lessons. They were needed for my development. Thank you for my eyes that get to witness the miracles of today and tomorrow. Thank you for everything I take for granted. Thank you for all of my blessings. Thank you for my drive. Thank you for my spirit. Thank you for my strength. Thank you for giving me the courage to fight through the hard times. Thank you for the people in my life. Those I love and those I learn from. Thank you for it all. Thank you. Thank you. It's the key that opens the door to instant happiness, unlocks the door to everything we are really seeking in life, happiness and contentment. Think about it. No matter what you say you want, money, riches, health, to help others, why do you really want it? When you drill deep down, the only reason anyone wants anything is the feeling we believe we will get from having it. That all boils down to happiness and contentment. And the truth is, we can have it now if we are grateful. And if you get quiet, get away from the noise of the world, and think for a moment about what you could be grateful for, I'm sure you could find plenty. Be grateful there's food on the table, air in your lungs, life in your body. Get grateful that you have opportunity to take your life to a whole nother level, to decide right now that you are going to live your dreams and never settle until you do. Get grateful for the mental strength you've been given to survive the hard times. Get grateful for your limbs if you have them. Many are not so blessed. Your eyesight if you have it. Many are not so blessed. Your hearing if you have it. many are not so blessed. The health you do have, many are in worse positions. Get grateful for that one person that has had an impact in your life, or many people if you are so blessed. Then get grateful you can choose to be that person for someone else. That one that makes a difference in someone else's life, no matter how small. Get grateful you get to experience this magical universe. Today, look for miracles. I guarantee if you are looking, you will see them. There are unlimited things to be grateful for. Open your eyes. Unlock your amazing life. It's ready for you right now.
Thank you for this day, whatever it brings. Whether a challenge I need to grow, a lineup to teach me patience, an unexpected blessing, every moment of joy, whatever today brings, thank you. Whatever it brings, I pray I have enough presence in each moment to know that no circumstance is my life. No high or low, no event, no thing is my life. Life is energy, and I know I'm so much more than my physical body. Thank you for my ability to love, to give to others my authentic love and kindness without expecting anything in return. Thank you for my strength. Thank you for my presence. Thank you for my ability to attract only the things and people that are in harmony with what I need in my life. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this day, whatever it brings.